This is Mr. Swaka. I will take you through church history. So today we are looking at church history, and we are looking at the emperor called Emperor Constantine and the church. We are going to see what did the emperor do to help the church. We are going to see what was the connection between the emperor and the church. Were they in good terms? Were they working together? Was Emperor Constantine like other emperors of the Roman Empire? So Constantine was a devoted Roman Empire emperor. So because of this, Christian as a religion enjoyed some things during the time, during his regime. However, there are also still hardships. So by then, the Roman Empire had one emperor, one law, and one citizenship for all free men. So though the Christians were very unequally distributed, and were much more numerous in East than in the West. So the Christians in the West and those of the East were not equal. So they were poorly and unequally distributed or divided or splintered altogether. They were though put on what we call fraction of the population when the agreement at Marina granted them equal rights. They were now put on what they call fraction. So the church had grown rapidly during the peace in the last half of the 3rd century. Under the imperial favor, its increase was too much. So Constantine gave them favor gave the church favor. So Constantine, he favored the church, which later role helped it to expand or to widen, to increase. So the church increased. Are you together? So by the law, remember I said the empire had one law, one citizenship, and many others. So by a law of AD 319, the clergy were exempted from the public obligations that weighed so heavy on the well-to-do portion of the population. So in 321, the rights to receive legacies was granted, and thereby by the privileges of the church as a corporation acknowledged. So the church in the 319 AD, they were given what we call peace by the Roman Empire emperor called Emperor Constantine, who gave them rights and he exempted them from some works. So being the clergy group, the emperor gave them a chance of enjoying several privileges. So the same year, Sunday work was forbidden to the people of the city. Remember, Sunday is the day when the Christians believe Jesus finished his creation. So that day is for all Christians to be free, for all Christians to stay home and do only worshiping, but not going to work. So after that, this was a privilege given to them by Emperor Constantine, who told them, now it's okay. Let us make Sunday an official day for resting. So whenever it comes to Sunday, people used to stay, because it is even written in this Bible according to Christianity. So in AD 319, private pagans sacrifices were prohibited. So in AD 319, beg your pardon, in AD 319, private pagan sacrifices were forbidden. So they stopped the pagans from offering sacrifices. All together, this was done to promote what we call Christianity worship. So gifts were made to the clergy, and the great churches were erected in Roman, Jerusalem, Bethlehem, and elsewhere under imperial influence. So that means that gifts were given to the church clergies. Clergies were gifted by the people. Altogether, this was a sign of love and a sign of being ready to go through what the clergies and the other followers following them had agreed. So gifts were given them to motivate, even to show that the empire is with them. So Emperor Constantine did a great work. So above all, Constantine's formal interference of the capital to be rebuilt. Are we together? Byzantium, which he called New Roman or Constantinople, was of high quality. So undebatably political and defensive in its motives. So the religious consequences were far-reaching from the social freedom. In AD 330, it established the seat of the empire in a city of a few hidden influences. So this helped the church also to expand. After all, the emperor had given them the opportunity to do what they want. So we say if Christianity was to be uniting factor in the empire, the church must be one. Constantine found that unity seriously threatened the nation. The unity seriously threatened. Are we together? In North Africa, the persecution under Diocletian had what we call something that it added to Christianity. Are we together? That is we call schism. So some we say complicated and personal in the causes, but remembering that Novatism in Roman. So half a century earlier, the church there was divided. The church was divided. So the first party charged that the new bishop of Carthage, Carosellian, had received invalid ordination in AD 311. So because the principal who had obtained him had established what we call established the priest, because of the bishop who had ordained him had surrendered copies of the scriptures in the recent persecution. So the ordination it held invalid and chose the country's bishop Majorius, his successor in AD 316, and Demetrius the Great. So we are looking at the persecution of the apostles. So these people went through a lot of things, and because of the fear of them being persecuted, many ended up leaving everything they had behind. He argued the bishop, are we together? Argued the bishops to hold what we call a synod or council, to hold a council or meeting at Nicaea, at public expos in areas in southern Garia. So as to resolve a number of issues or disagreement which were threatening to destroy the church. So a huge large council, large council, a huge, large, therefore a huge, large council. So the huge, large council assembled in AD 314. The distant connections were condemned. So ordination was declared valid even at the head of a personally unworthy arrest, so on and so forth. So committee or meeting was held and a lot took place. I beg to stop here and have a good day.